conversation. Y'all just fill it in. Welcome, 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 man. We here.
What
We
up, though?
here 2025 at Eve Denver, man.
ETA, what's happening though?
Eve Denver, how y'all feeling today, man?
Hey man, life is good, man. I'm blessed and highly favored and black.
Yes, man. So, we here to do again the Black experience at Eve Denver.
Okay.
Tell me some of the things you guys been seeing and what you've been learning, and would you recommend this to other people?
Hey.
And we'll build off of that conversation there.
You know what I'm gonna say? I'll say this. Yesterday when we came in, you and I were just standing there. And I was, like most black folks do in Denver, we walk into a room and we like, all right, we try to see where we at, you know what I mean?
For sure.
And it was just me and you.
Yeah.
And then within like 5 minutes, all the other brothers and sisters came around and was like, oh, okay, this must be where we meeting up at. And I was
This is
like,
where we're supposed to be.
This is where we're supposed to be, right? So it was easy to find the tribe. It was easy to find my brethren, you know what I mean? And that, when I walked in, really helped me feel comfortable. Being new to crypto, being new to a lot of this stuff when I'm here just to learn, that will really like help boost my confidence. You know what I mean?
For sure. How about you, Jordan?
Man, it's been a blessing. This is actually my second ETH Denver, so we got the warm-up last year in 24, and 25 is kind of the year of execution, Mm-hmm. We're trying to really not only plot out our strategies, but act on them, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's very, very important not only for us to be here, to soak up the game and the experience, but to try to utilize it in any way that we can,
Absolutely,
for sure.
and for the betterment of our community, which is really what it's about, putting our community on and turning them on to experiencing things that they don't know about.
Indeed. So for our, maybe you want to speak to what are some of the things you learned thus far since being here?
Well, one thing I learned, and I'll say this about the whole community, is that everybody is meeting you where you at, right? Nobody's looking down at me. Not just, I'm talking about black folks or anybody I've met. They like, oh, you don't know this? Let me help put you on. Let me get you where you need to be. The ramp up was really real smooth, and they don't talk to you like you stupid, right? Obviously, if you're here, you've got some level of intelligence and you can figure these things out, you know what I mean? So I wasn't coddled along. They were like, here, this is what you do, scan this, do that, figure it out. And, I feel like I was able to get up to speed. So I've learned that the community is very inviting. The community really, embraces everybody at every level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was excited to learn more about the different AI agents and being able to employ them in the games that we're building. So I think that was exciting to learn about that. And what's y'all's favorite thing thus far? What are y'all looking forward to seeing? Or what's been your favorite thing thus far?
For me, I would say community, man, as my boy mentioned earlier. Seeing us, that's what brings me joy. In a land where we're few and far between, it's exciting to see your fellow brother at an event like this. And like-minded individuals always gravitate towards each other. So,
for sure.
Aside from the merch, aside from talking to some of these incredible companies of the future, just networking and vibing with my boys. That I feel like that's very, very important in creating a community within this space. Because we're already brothers in different spaces. We went to school together or we've worked together on different projects. But to meet in this space, where you don't see a lot of us, it changes your mindset a little bit.
So let me ask you this, Vincent, going off of what he had to say, as the three of us right here, you're the elder statesman when it comes to knowing and being involved in this, right?
For
so,
sure.
As somebody who can see what things are for what they are here, what are things that you would tell somebody who's just their second year and me the first year, things that we must know, things that we need to pick up and take up, besides the swag has been great for everybody we get it from, so make sure if you see us to drop it off with us, feel me?
For sure.
But what are some things that as a new booty and somebody who's been in booty before, what do we take? Yeah, pause.
I think the key thing is to take copious notes. Like when you're going to some of the workshops, take copious notes. And even if you got a recorder or you record a video,
we're utilizing this AI to help take notes now. So
and you play it, take it, transcribe it, play it back in your AI, and then you could educate yourself even more. Like there's no excuse not to learn or know what these people are talking about anymore. We have AI technology to help educate us, break it down to where it's digestible. So I think the main thing first is take copious notes while you're here, and if there's something that you don't know, take note of it, and then come back and learn about it. And as well as relationships, meeting people. Make sure you're networking. Don't be shy, and don't be scared to start the conversation and ask, "Hey, what do you do?
Hey, speaking of networking,
Where are you from?"
the guy that I just talked to, Henry, he works for one of these companies and one of these platforms on the blockchain or whatnot. He said that he was actually a hospitality background.
Nice.
He's from Monaco, overseas. That's the other thing. You're going to meet a lot of people that are not from the States. You're going to meet a lot of people from different backgrounds, different types of heritages, and you find commonality in that. And that's one thing that's really dope. But Henry said that he was a hospitality background, and he went and got his master's in the blockchain.
Nice.
So it was interesting for me to hear that from him. He's dealing with hotels. He said, "I love it, but this is not where I'm from. I'm not of this space."
Yeah.
But the fact that he can go to school and grab his master's specifically for blockchain, you know what I mean? That's exactly what he said. For the blockchain, it's incredible.
Nice. Yeah, so again, I think that the takeaways from this event is, continue to network. The relationships you make here are invaluable because you never know what company you could either work for, collaborate with, or benefit from, just having a good conversation. And so I think that goes a long way to say, be open to meet new people and have those conversations and learn about what these companies do.
It's the future, man.
Yeah.
So what would you tell somebody like from our community who's like, man, I like my money green. I don't know nothing about no crypto. Like, what would you tell somebody? How would you bring them here to make them want to see the value in this, right? Like, because it's more than just from what I thought it was. Like I said, I'm new. So I thought it was going to be learning about crypto and coin and like kind of like investing on some Wall Street shit, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm learning is a lot more about the backside of the blockchain and what's happening with these developers and the possibilities, right? So it's like, oh, people ask me, what am I doing? What are you? Are you a developer? Are you a creator? And I'm still trying to figure out, okay, what am I doing in here? So like, how would you tell somebody from our neighborhood, from our community to be like, man, you got to come check this out besides just the money aspect?
Well, the first thing I would do is, educate them on Web3 and how, as a creator or as an entrepreneur or whatever you do, how there's a space for you to where this could be integrated into your business, into your lifestyle in a way. And then I would speak to how, easy it is and wide open it is. It's still early in the space. You have first movers advantage. So if you're looking to benefit as an entrepreneur, if you're looking to benefit as a creator, it's a whole new landscape to where the real estate is wide open. So I would first educate them basically on the Web3 space and show them the benefits, as well as showing them how they can use it and leverage it, especially with the AI. When we're talking about this AI technology, when we're talking about AI agents and how these things are integrated inside the blockchain, it makes you work smarter and not harder. It makes your job easier when you're able to leverage this technology.
Makes you more efficient.
Yeah, way more efficient. So it's like, if you don't have this technology and you're not learning about this, you're in the prehistoric times. So it's like, catch the wave, get ahead of the wave, be ahead of the curve right now. This is the time right now.
It's not going away.
Yeah.
That's what I see. It's definitely not going away. It's just going to continue to grow.
And that's the thing, is like, I feel like we from different generations. We close though, we peers. And like people, I'm 47, so the people my age, like either they've been in it since you got in it, or they're absolutely not fucking with it at all, right? And as I see some like, and I hear, growing up we hear about discrimination, and as I get to be closer to 50, I'm starting thinking about ageism, right? So I don't want to get left behind because you old fool, you don't even know, and this is all we speak in this crypto. So I'm gonna implore everybody out there who sees this, if you're from our community, if you're from around the way, I don't care what age you went from 16 to 55. You got to figure this shit out, man. At some point, have your nephew, your cousin, your auntie, your uncle explain it to you. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to get left behind. Because these green bills, dividends, this shit is going away, man. You got to be able to have this decentralized money, and to be able to make moves. And I've been ramping up these last couple days. Like, man, it's a lot. It feels like a lot to like extra steps, but that's the price you pay to have your shit not on anybody else's shit, to be decentralized, right, is what I'm learning. Like, so it's not, once I took the mindset away from being frustrated and me to go through this step, to do this, to do that, but realize I don't have to give nobody my information. Ain't nobody checking me or sending me spam emails or none of this shit, and I'm still reaping these benefits, so thankful for that.
Yeah, I think that's very beneficial. Like you said, there's no barrier entry to get into this, so it's like the gatekeepers are not here, so it's wide open for us if we take advantage of it. And as a creator, the possibilities are endless. It's endless, man. So, you know, I was looking at some of the people from Wired. That was one of the companies that I really enjoyed one of the talks from, and they was talking about employing the AI agents and having no onboarding wraps, and to where it was gasless and where you don't have transaction fees. And those things, as you start to get in it, you like, okay, I see why this is beneficial, you know, because it starts to get overwhelming when you start learning a lot of this information. And it's like, you don't want to get water hosed with information. But I think the key to it, what we took from last year was months before, we planned out our schedule.
Okay.
I think that's
I saw y'all
essential
did
too.
it this year too.
Yeah.
Because you handed me your phone and you had the whole rundown.
You got to pick what you want. You
There's
know,
so many different things and so many options to choose from.
So how did you go about deciding what were the things that you felt like you wanted to see? You know what I mean?
Well, since we're
because you guys had the same itinerary, correct?
Yeah.
For the most part,
Yeah. So since we're into Web3 gaming and the AI agents, financial literacy, building that, our main thing since we've been building the Finlit app and our Finlit game is to be able to employ the AI agents in our game. So when we're bringing the game to the people, we want to be around the most knowledgeable people as far as, you know, what platform is good, just as far as, so we're not putting off the end cost to the user, to where, you know, we're swallowing that cost pause, to where it's something big enough to where we can teach the people as well. So when I want to teach people about the AI agents, show them how to integrate inside of the Web3 gaming. Web3 gaming is getting ready to be huge. So it's a mass market, and those are the things, that's how I kind of put the filter on as far as everything in DeFi, gaming, Web3, and AI. And after that, that's where I just made my schedule for each day.
So I got a hard question to ask, right? And it's going, and this is from picking up from what I was talking about earlier with seeing my tribe, right? So when I hear us talking about where we stand in crypto, one thing that I heard is like, well, there's nothing for black folks really. Like, there's not a black dollar one. There's not, but what I've been picking up from the overall consensus of this community is that there's no need, because it's all really just a wholesome community. Am I getting that right? Or do you still think that black folks need to have our own subsection in this crypto game? Or do you feel like the rest of this world is accepting enough and will just look at us just as creators, inventors, and builders and everything else? Or do you still think we need to have our own little section?
I mean, you would be oblivious to say that there's no intersectionality as far as people who want to try to gatekeep, or, you know, they use certain things, innuendos. It's not blatantly open like that, but
not, no.
I always think it's essential to have your own in anything.
Correct. Okay.
So I think that's essential for us to find the space, because a lot of times these people don't speak our language, so it's hard to translate.
What I was going to say. Understanding.
Yeah.
You know
so
what I'm saying? Providing that understanding.
Providing that understanding, because there is a barrier.
Culturally or just vernacularly?
Both.
Okay.
Both. So again, with every new level of consciousness, there's a language that you're going to have to learn. And so to be able to translate that language to our people is very essential. And being able to break it down into where it's digestible.
I agree.
Because that's what they run from. You know, you run from what you don't understand. Or if you feel like it's too overwhelming, which a lot of people will, you know.
Yeah, they will.
The average person walking in here, they're gonna be like you asked, like, why am I really here?
Yeah.
Until you started delving a little bit deeper and seeing how it can help you in your life and your business and what you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I feel like finding that connection too, you know. Something that is mutual for everybody is the love of art. I feel like that's an easy way for somebody to connect within this space. You know what I'm saying? From the ground level.
And you as a gallery owner, what did you think about the art gallery up there?
You know, I love what Rob is doing, and I'm happy that they got a brother in there, you know what I mean, doing their thing. So congratulations to him, and for I don't know how many years it's been. And I just love that they have a space for artists. As a gallerist, as an artist myself, you know what I mean, I'm like, I just love that crypto and just this whole blockchain world is based off art and creativity.
And
right?
that's what's dope about it, you know. And
I think
feel
that's
like
our commonality. I think that's the foundation to build on, because no matter, I mean, there's somebody, you know, I'm from the streets, so a lot of these people in here are
complete opposite.
I would never talk to these people
Complete
outside
opposite.
of this, right? But when I get to talking to them, I'm like, oh shit, these people are really smart, they're really cool, and they're really knowledgeable, and I can learn something from them, you know, and I'm always wanting to be around people I can learn something from. So I have to get the chip off my own shoulder, right, out of my own back, in order to open up and be like, all right, well, here's this, you know, nerdy looking Asian dude who got some J's on, so, but he, you know, let me go holler at him. And he like, oh yeah, man, I'm doing this, and that. I'm like, oh shit, this dude is really dope.
And what's even
you know?
doper is they come up to you. They'll see you like the whole time. What are they coming up to us and saying?
Oh man, you guys are
fly,
fresh.
You fresh. You know what I'm saying? So that allows me to know that our culture is connected,
transcending.
You know what I mean? So not only does that make them comfortable to talk to us, but it makes us more comfortable to talk to them.
Do you think that the way we carry ourselves and culturally adds value in this crypto and this world
without
outside,
question,
like how do what we carry so nonchalantly and just effortlessly, how do we transcend that? How do we monetize that in the world of crypto, in the world of blockchain?
Well, I think the key component is, you know, monetizing our influence in leveraging it into our communities. So by onboarding, I think the most important thing is the educational. That's the foundation. We have to educate our people on how this is beneficial, how they can use it, how they can integrate it into their businesses, why it's beneficial for art, why it's beneficial for music, and there's so many different avenues. I learned about the biotech, where they're utilizing AI agents on the blockchain to do lab testing.
The medical field is about to be huge.
Yeah, so
it's about to blow up.
Science and AI go hand in hand, just like chemistry and what's the other math? Calculus. So it goes hand in hand. So to understand that, I think the main thing is to utilize our influence, leverage that into educating the people, and then ushering them into however, you know, if it's the music side, if whatever, meet them where they're at, as we've been saying, is meeting them where they're at.
Yep.
But being able to leverage our influence and taking that to the next level. So let me ask you guys, what's been your favorite thing thus far? Like,
my favorite thing this far, man, is just seeing how much I don't know, right? It's kind of daunting, you know what I mean? Like, I love a challenge, so I need to know what's really happening before I decide I'm into something, right? And I'm like, okay, I don't know nothing about none of this, right? As much as I think I do, right? I get the concept, right? Like, I use AI in my everyday life, you know what I mean? From contracts to writing bids to writing scripts to, you know, like everything.
That's more than the average person too. So you on a leg up.
So I named my chat GTP Daviante, right? And I told Daviante to talk to me AAVE per my daughter's. You know, I was like, what is that? She's like, just tell it to talk to you AAVE. And I'm like, all right. So and then he's like, all right,
that's
bet.
what I thought, but that's not what it stands for.
No, African American vernacular expression.
Okay.
Right. So you tell. So I told him that. I was like, talk to me AAVE. He was like, all right, bet. So what we on today? And I was like, word? He was like, yeah. Tell me what you need, fam. I was like, oh shit. Daviante is like talking to my partner. So I just love my favorite part is to figure out, like, since I use Daviante so much, like, what else can I use every day? How else is
exciting.
this gonna help me, right? It's like a kid in a candy store. I'm like, so now I just don't know what none of these flavors are. So that's what I've been wanting to walk around here and do, is figure out what each flavor is. You know what I mean?
And what I really like, what I could utilize.
What can I utilize, right? Some of the shit I'm not even gonna be, ain't on my radar, but some of these things, like, I just got this Frazier twin, right? This is gonna be like
That's
the
an
dude
AI agent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he show up for me as me, and I had to do so that's what I was kind of over here doing, was doing my little questionnaire with them. So I'm about to utilize this fool. I'm gonna name him Daviante too, and I'm just gonna keep them together. You know what I mean? He could
Why
be
Daviante,
twins.
man?
Man, I don't know. I saw something on TikTok, and it was just some fool, some ghetto ass fool. He was like, Daviante. I was like, that's a hood ass name.
I got a
I'm
cousin named Davey.
You got to put the ante on it. You know what I mean?
No, I think that's critical, man. So even with like this AI and how it's being used, I went to one of the AI agent conferences for virtuals. Remember we was talking about virtuals, how the cool thing about these AI agents is that you can automate them. So kind of like he was saying, you could talk to them, but you could put them to work.
God,
They
you
could
could
work for
give them money. You could give them tasks. They could
Wait,
pay
I
your
can pay him?
bills.
Really?
Man, you could give them options. You know what I'm saying? You can control it, obviously. But yeah, there's ways that you can give them money to pay and do their due diligence or handle business accordingly.
Yeah.
So you know that's the next thing.
So
you know?
when they say you actually, like, I wish I could clone myself.
You can now.
Man, stop
You know what
playing.
I'm saying?
So that's
So
what this is. I just got
It's
this.
exciting.
Yeah.
It's exciting, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So just think, you got Daviante, he paying all the bills.
Yeah.
Ain't no way that you gonna be late on any bills when
Nah.
he'll taking care of it.
Yeah.
Everything's in schedule, you know what I mean? But that's just one of many things that we can utilize this technology for.
So as a second-year person here, what's the most exciting thing to you? What was one of the things you saw take the most leaps and bounds?
Honestly, as a second year here, like I was talking to my boy Henry outside, I feel like I'm more comfortable just with understanding, you know what I mean, and being able to conversate about the blockchain, being able to conversate about Web3.
Keep up
and,
now.
Yeah, and network a little bit more, you know what I mean? Network to our people. I know what builders are, you know what I mean? Just the basics, the foundation.
Yeah.
I feel like once you come for the first time, that's gonna be getting your feet wet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? On top of all the networking sessions, you know what I'm saying? Endless happy hours. These companies go through a great deal, spend a lot of money, millions and millions and millions of dollars for these activations. So it's very important not only for the world to utilize it as we see they are doing, but for our community to utilize it too, you know?
I think it's cool, like even as we here doing this podcast at E Denver, how many people stopped and took pictures of us and recorded us. It's like, they like, who is these guys over here doing this podcast?
God body.
We the boys.
God body.
We the
No,
boys.
yeah, most definitely. Future billionaires in the flesh.
Yeah,
But
for
it's
sure.
very, very important for people to see us, you know?
Yeah.
And
We belong here.
On God.
Yeah.
And
And
it's
so-
even crazier when we tell them we're from Denver.
Yeah.
It just opens up another eye.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
they're
saying?
like,
Because
what?
this is our home,
Yeah.
you know?
This is our backyard. So
Yeah.
I think, too, I want to speak to how we can utilize Web3 to drive equitable change in our communities, and how by creating allies with these different communities, it could be beneficial to us. What do you guys think about that?
I don't know nothing about that, so I'm waiting for y'all to tell me. Like, I'm just understanding the concept of Web3.
Yeah.
There goes Sharon. She wanted to. If Sharon ain't here, it ain't. You shouldn't be caring.
I mean, you know.
she is the G.
If Sharon ain't here, you shouldn't be caring.
Hey,
Yeah.
man, we're glad Sharon just ain't a Karen, man.
Yeah,
That's all.
yeah, for sure.
But-
no, so like, I think that I'm so new to the infinite possibilities of Web3, right, and
Yeah.
what it is like. And I just, one of the things that I had to learn, what was the difference between Web 2 and Web 3, right? And I was, you know,
Break it
still-
down. What did you learn?
Well, I learned that Amazon, eBay, all that's Web 2, right? That's
Yeah.
all. That's like,
Facebook.
yeah, Facebook. That's all
Twitter.
Web T.
First wave of internet.
Yeah, first wave of internet. So like this, the AI Web 3, virtual reality Web 3,
Well-
the meta world Web 3.
I
right?
think overall a better definition is decentralized. So when you're logging in
Okay.
with your crypto wallet instead of like your email, to where you have that anonymity to where you don't have to expose your email address
Give
all
up
the
your
time.
information.
Yeah, so it puts the data back in the hands of the people.
Okay.
So that's why Web3 is, that's why people are taking a hold to it, because these big companies aren't controlling all the data.
And is that why there hasn't been a global push for it? Because the powers that be want to make sure they still got the reins on us?
Yeah, I mean,
because I know that content aggregation and like information on each one of us is big bucks.
That's big money.
That's big
data
money.
is the
Getting
new
our-
oil.
Yeah.
So it's when they're data mining, and even for all these AIs that need data sets to program these language models.
to sell us stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's essential. But the Web3 is putting the data back in the hands of the people.
That's dope.
Okay.
I actually have, that's definitely a big part of it, but I have a little different understanding of it, or to add to your knowledge. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, Web 2 or the internet, you know what I mean? It was the foundation of allowing people to communicate.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Social media, all of these different things that were born with the internet, so to speak.
Right.
Web 3 is the communication of things. You know what I'm saying? The internet of things, so to speak.
Okay.
So like,
Break it down.
So like, for instance, you communicating with your house. You know what I'm saying? That's part of Web 3.
Turn Alexa, turn the volume down to 25.
Your appliance is communicating with each other.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, this is the start in the age of the Web
It's the
3
Jetsons.
space. Exactly.
Okay,
So
okay.
that's kind of my understanding of it, and that's just the bottom baseline of what the technology is capable of. You know what I'm saying?
So understanding that, your question was what now? How do we utilize this to
To essentially
further us.
and have these allies, but we're talking about socially. So when there's black people in these spaces, they're not always accepted. But if we have allies who understand our plight, then we're able to leverage that. I think that's important.
So we need to come up with a black coin,
I mean, not essentially the black coin, but
one that's owned and operated by us.
yeah, I mean,
that we can utilize.
there's several people in that space. If they got Black Web3. They're usually here doing different things. They usually post about events, and they're very knowledgeable in the space. So there's people doing things already. So I think it's just being able to educate our people on the ones that's already doing things, and then for them to help build an ecosystem
around it.
So it sounds like we need to be implementing these practices into education, right? Because in our communities, they're just gonna keep us indoctrinated into their system, right? So now we need to have Saturday schools or after school programs.
Or just events. You know
Or
what
just
I'm saying?
events, right?
Events to educate, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Things, and one of the coolest things is, this isn't something that is boring. You know what I mean? It might be a little bit over your head, you know what I mean, as far as...
Because I'm old, you know what I mean?
And like you said, the vernacular and the
nomenclature,
terminology, most definitely. But as far as, it's nowhere near boring. It's exciting, you know what I mean? Technology is exciting in itself.
Right.
You know, so if I feel like we get, we're into educating our youth, you know what I'm saying? Like, our youth is the next phase of this.
Absolutely.
So educating our daughters and our nieces and our sons, you know what I'm saying, our nephews on the future of what Web3 will be for them, I feel is going to be very, very important for the next stage.
Yeah.
You know?
That's important. So that's why we do our workshops too. Y'all make sure y'all send y'all kids to our workshops when we posting about them. We educating them on the crypto. We're educating them on just financial literacy in general.
Well, that's one thing we didn't do, y'all, when we sat down. We just got right to it. We didn't even introduce ourselves.
Well, go ahead and introduce. Well, I was going to close with that to where, you get to tell people who you are, where they can find you at, and what you do, So, but we had to get right to it, man. They put us on a time constraint, but we're excited just to be able to take time away from the event and be able to speak about what we're doing and some of the things we've seen. And I think it's important for us to do our event next year, to where we're doing the event, host the event, to where people who are melanated, people could come to our event and see why they should get into Web3, into blockchain, into AI, into all these things, and then we make it something annual.
So do they have like a crypto crowd surfing platform or a crowd sourcing platform? Like kind of like Kickstarter, but with crypto?
Yeah, they have several different protocols where a lot of these blockchain companies have grants and things for people to build on it, or they have bounties for developers to build on. By solving problems, you're awarded funds.
We need all these people over here to come up with an equitable solution so we can get our next generation of young brothers and sisters in here to start.
We got to
see.
do it. They ain't gonna do it for us.
I
If
mean,
we
I'm
don't
saying-
do it, it ain't gonna get done.
I mean, they can help.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I
Yeah,
was
no,
talking
those
about
partnerships
the
are
allies.
important.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
need
those
those-
that's what I was
allies
saying,
and those
those
partnerships
allies.
are, and I feel like they're willing. You know what I mean? One thing that we got to do is present it.
Yeah.
You know, if we build it, they'll come.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
feel? We got to make it attractive too. You know, our people like it sexy.
Yeah.
So we make it look real sexy. We have events that not only support the youth and the education for the youth, but make it digestible for our generation. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Our peers. You know, the 40 and up, the 50 and up. You know what I
and
mean?
then their kids, right? And our kids. My son, 13, he should be knowing all of this.
Most definitely.
He
yeah.
needs to know all of this,
I
right?
feel like we're doing them a disservice by them
Man,
not being here.
and
So,
I
no.
think-
Next year
that's
we
what I was
bringing them.
thinking, yeah.
Next year, your son coming,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
we're gonna make sure they get this information.
Yeah, we haven't seen an all-black booth yet.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe
That's
we
why
should be the first.
We need to be a black booth and
Yeah.
and maybe a hub.
And by
for-
that time, we'll have the game ready.
Yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
mean-
We'll have different products.
even just to be a hub for where to go. Here's the black experience at East Denver. This is where you need to know. This is the people you need to talk to.
Hey, you know what we didn't say? The most important aspect of all this shit,
What's that?
it's free.
It's free if you can jump through some hoops.
It's free. They're not charging you to be here.
I mean,
No.
a lot of times when you tell people it's free, they don't add value to it.
Or they don't see the value.
in it.
Because it's free.
Yeah, that's they're doing
Asinine.
themselves a disservice.
Asinine.
And this is right here in our backyard in Denver, Colorado. So it's like
Yeah, you get the cool little,
a lot of people don't know about it.
It's a multi-million-dollar production.
Yeah, this is the
Oh,
real
yeah.
deal here.
And it's about education. It's about networking. That's what it's about.
And all these people about they bag. They
Man.
all
Bag.
about the bag,
Everybody.
man.
Shout
They
out to
try-
Eve Denver, man, for putting this
Non-taxable
on every year.
Every year.
bags. You
I
know what
remember
mean?
going to the Eve Denver a few years back, and it was just really, really small. And to see it grow over the time, man, this is huge, man. This is one of the biggest conventions in the world, not just in the country, in the world. So there's people here from all over. I done met people from Shanghai, China, the Philippines, India.
Yeah.
You name it. Australia.
Yeah,
Man.
Just met a dude from Monaco.
Chile last night at the Pizza
Yeah.
Castle, talking to the
Yeah.
brother who was doing big things over there. You know, it's so interesting seeing how everybody's got something. You get to see a lot about how people's minds work, and really nothing gets sold in this country or get done in this country without creative. It all starts with idea people,
That
right?
thought.
And
That's
some
what we
people,
talk about.
and
It
either
always
some,
starts with
some
that thought.
people don't have them, and some people pay other people to have ideas from them. But what I'm realizing is all these people in here are idea people, right? They come up with ideas.
Creators.
And then they're
Let the
using
creators create.
it's like the blockchain. It's like a network because they're like, oh, you can fill this void for me, and I can fill this void for you, and then we can all help this. It's a super dope. So
Okay. You guys say your social medias. We're going to wrap this up
We
and
gonna
tell them
wrap
where
it
they
up.
can find you and what you're doing.
hey, I'm Fa'al Ali. I am the owner and operator of Easy Media, Ela Gallery. You can find me on X at Fa'al FAAL, or you can find me on Instagram at easy_media. Easy with a Z, EAZYMEDIA, or hit the website up www.easy.media.
Go ahead.
Hey, man, Jordan Jayciani. Once again, it was a pleasure. You can find me at 5280 Executively on all platforms. Jordy Morebucks on Telegram. I'm one of the founders and owners of Colorado Freebie right here in Colorado. One of the first and only black apiaries here within the state.
All right, and I'm VO, the CEO of Park Hill Financial District, and you can find me at PHFD 80207 at all platforms, or find me at phfd80207.com. Thank you. It's been a great time. Peace, peace, peace.
Peace.
Much love.